I think a lot of times in life, we think that people see the world the way that we do, that they'll react the way that we do to a certain situation. And that's wrong. We all see the world a little differently. We all react to situations a little differently. Some people might react better to a situation. Some people may react in a different way. And being human, being a high quality human, I would say, is understanding that we're all different, being empathetic towards that, and understanding how you can get people more so to follow the correct philosophy, even if it may not be yours. I've coached a lot of people in my life, and I've been coached by a lot of people. And one thing I've noticed very much about myself that other people have brought up to me is that I'm a lot like my old mentor. My old mentor was very hard on me. Actually, a lot of people in life were hard on me. Life was hard on me. And, there was times that my mentor would yell at me and just rip into me. He would just go at it with me. And I would just take it and take it and take it. And, there were times where I was very angry at him. I don't want to ever say I hated him, but I was very upset at times. I didn't want to talk to him. I needed some space from him. I was a young kid at the time. And some of the coaching that he gave me was very, very hard. Personal attacks, just ripping me apart on every level. It was very difficult for me to take. But I took it because one thing about me was, and I'll pride myself on this every single time I talk about it, I'm very loyal and I stay towards the situation until it's finished. So I was loyal to him, and even though he was harsh on me, I didn't really say, no, I'm done, I'm leaving, I can't do this. I never did that. I think that's the worst thing that you can do. Because he did genuinely provide a lot of value to me in my life. He taught me a lot. Years later is where I understood what he was saying, why he was so hard. It came from a place of just wanting me to be better. It came from a place of him holding me to a standard that was something that he wanted and that he wanted me to have for myself. He just wanted me to be better than him. He wanted me to be a stronger, more powerful, more disciplined version of him. And sometimes we get caught up in the idea that we're doing the right thing, but we don't understand that in the moment when we're explaining this to somebody, we may be pushing them too hard. You might tell somebody that works for you or that you're working alongside to do something, and you might genuinely want the best for them. And you might hold on to that idea, like, I want the best for them. But the best for them may not be what you're doing. It may not get them to the mindset that they need to be at. And so, a lot of times in business, I'm coaching people and I can be very hard on them. I can be extremely hard. Not everybody can take the hard levels of coaching that I give out. There's some guys that work for me at a high level, they can take the heat. They can do it. And I respect them for that. I really do. I have a lot of love and respect them, a lot of love and respect for them for taking the pressure that I put on them. They know who they are. They don't back down. They're very coachable. They listen to a lot of things I say. Even when they know I'm wrong about certain things, they listen to me. That is love right there. That is real respect. I will always respect that. But there are certain people that I coach in business, and I want them to be so good, and I want them to be better, and I don't understand that the climate that they're in is a little bit different than the temperature I'm trying to get them used to. That makes sense. That I'm coaching them at a degree where they're not ready. See, coaching people in leadership is disappointing people at a level that they can handle. That's really what it is. It's disappointing people at a rate that they can handle. That is what leadership is. And sometimes I give them a rate that they can't handle. And that's a mistake I make. And sometimes I find myself making that mistake. And it's difficult to correct it when you do it too hard. It's difficult to fix somebody because when you coach somebody too hard, they just get broken. They start to lose trust in you. They start to break down almost. And they're just not coachable anymore. They're resentful. When you coach them too softly, it's oftentimes better to start off a little bit slow. And I've noticed this. So, there's people that have worked for me, and they may not work for me anymore. And they've come back. I actually had someone this week message me and say this to me, like, thank you so much for all the coaching you gave me when I worked for you. It made me another person that I am today. And even though I didn't receive it the best way at the time, I'm grateful for all the time and energy that you put into me to make me a better person. And I didn't really think about it until now, because I get a lot of those messages. But this is where the thought process kind of gets twisted, right? Because it's the same way that I think of my old mentor. I'm so grateful for the pressure and the strain that he put on me. It made me into the man I am today. I would not be this this detail-oriented, this organized, this fixated on success if it was not for him. If it was not for him pushing me. When I do something wrong now, I feel like I'm going to get yelled at. I feel the pressure to do the right thing every single day. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. If you don't got pressure in your life, you're doing something wrong. You got to apply more. But at the same time, that coaching at that moment broke me. So how do we process this the right way? How do we really go about this the right way? The message I'm trying to give you guys today is this. You've got to learn to coach people at the right level. Some people can handle the heat. Some people are built for it. Some people really, really get it. You talk to an NFL player, you can tell them to hit a sprint. Just go do it. Go. But you talk to someone that hasn't been running and is kind of scared of the gym to go hit a sprint, they may not be ready for it. Even though both people might be able to do it, and you're not necessarily measuring times or speeds or anything like that, and it may not be for a competition, one person will do it, the other person won't. And one person may feel like you're breaking them and scaring them and hurting them, while the other person feels like, yeah, this is easy. He's pushing me. I like it. Push me harder. You've got to find the balance, the sweet spot. You've got to find the rate at which you can disappoint them at. When you run a business, you are a coach. When you are running a business, you are a leader. And sometimes I'll tell you this is going to sound weird, but this is true. Sometimes you have to put somebody in place to coach them that's not you, because the rate that you coach them at is so intense that you can't even decide to knock yourself back so much. It sounds weird. When you build up an organization so hard, sometimes you're not the best person to get in front of a person. Sometimes you need to have somebody in between you to coach them, because you know that person that's in between you is going to coach them at a rate that they can handle, is going to coach them at a rate that makes more sense for them than you. And when they're ready and when they're, coached at that higher level, then they can come to you and kind of handle the heat. It's hard to fluctuate and switch up your style of coaching for every single person. But that is really what good leadership is about. I'm telling you, you need to be able to do that, and you also need to be able to delegate and have other people coach. See, the reality is, in business, you want to have 2 or 3 people coaching an individual, always. I have 2 or 3 people at a time coaching me. And there's some days that I like what this person says, there's some days I like what another person says. But at the end of the day, they're all saying the same thing. They're all trying to get me better. They're all trying to get me to improve. They're all trying to get me to do more business and grow my numbers and become a more disciplined individual. They're just saying it in different ways. And sometimes on certain days, I can take the heat. And sometimes on other days, I might not be able to take that level, that rate. At the highest levels of the game, coaching is not really coaching. It's just orders. It's just do this, do that, get it done. There's very little positive reinforcement. And there's also, in a sense, very little negative reinforcements. It's minimized. It's more so robotic. I mean this in the best way. Because when you're operating at a large level and you're really, really pushing numbers and you're doing a lot of things, you don't have time to get into rants and tirades and give yourself out energetically to a situation to improve somebody or to hurt somebody. You just don't have time. You expect them to deliver, and that process of habituation to deliver over and over again is actually what the coaching is. The coaching becomes you doing things just because you have to do things. And it doesn't even become, about you. It becomes about the whole organic process of whatever you're in. It becomes about the ecosystem. It becomes about you maintaining and fulfilling your role within that ecosystem to get something done as a group. If you're a CEO of an organization, the owners don't necessarily have time to sit down and yell at you for things that you're doing wrong. They just say, hey, we need these done. We need this fixed. You can't do this. Make sure you don't do this. And that's it. And you're expected to execute. On the flip side, if your reports are good, they may say, hey, good job. Awesome. You did good. You'll be in place next year. You'll be reelected, whatever it might be. It's not about ups and downs. When you're younger and you're not as disciplined, you got to put a lot of time into people. And that time takes energy, effort, and resources, which is another reason why you may have to have someone in place to coach people, because you may not have that time. So when you're new in business, you've got to learn to put the time in until you develop a few people that can coach for you. But when you're seniored and seasoned in business, you need to have people that can do that kind of stuff for you. And a lot of times we make the mistake of touching base with someone that's very young, someone that's very new in business, someone that doesn't know anything, and trying to build them up. Like, hey, this person's young. This person's a blank slate. I can really work with them and get them to a higher level. But you make the mistake of, number one, not creating scarcity. Number 2, coaching them too hard. You coach them too hard. You're way too intense for them. And number 3, you don't let them flow through the right channels, and that also causes issues with the business in itself. So, I think a lot of times we're very over-enthusiastic. Many of us are, just to see success. We all want to win. We all want to be, winners at the end of the day. But anything that comes fast is dangerous, Anything that the money that comes quick, the success that comes quick, the results that come quick, I'm suspicious of it. I don't like it. I stay away from that. I want slow and steady. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. The slower you go and the more meticulous you are, the faster you're going to get there. Hope this makes sense for you guys. If this helped you in any way, please share it with somebody. I make these because I just want to help people improve their lives and learn from my mistakes and obviously learn from my successes. And at the end of the day, give us a follow on thoughtcastofficial.com and check us out on social media. Check me out on Instagram. I appreciate all of you for taking this time and spending it with me. It means a lot to me. Until next time.